Hi guys, it's Jessica here again, and welcome to this edition of the Quotation Bank Revision Tutorials, designed to help you in preparation for your GCSE English Literature exams. In these videos, we take key scenes and characters from the text and provide a great model for how to go about analysing them precisely and how to get the most out of them in an exam, as well as providing you with the framework for an excellent revision activity you can then do on your own. The Quotation Bank has guides for a variety of GCSE texts available on our website, Amazon or online, so go and have a look, as well as follow us on social media. And if you find this video useful, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe here on YouTube. Today we're looking at the close analysis of a brief extract from Stave 1 of A Christmas Carol that focuses on the setting and cold environment of the novel, and here's why. In recent years, some English Literature GCSE exam questions have asked you to focus on areas of a text that perhaps diverge from the main themes or characters. It is important to note that exam boards make explicit the fact that questions and extracts can come from anywhere in a text, therefore skipping over the seemingly insignificant is not necessarily a sensible idea. Learning time is limited, and it is logical to spend quality time on key sections of a text. To that end, we have provided brief analysis of insignificant scenes of significance, so that these scenes can be explored comprehensively but efficiently. These scenes are also incredibly useful for demonstrating whole text knowledge. Whilst key scenes may be rich in material, this scene is excellent for highlighting the development of theme or character, and may even awake an examiner to a new and original point that hasn't been made by pupils again and again. So let's get to the extract. The extract we are looking at today is as follows. Stave 1. The cold became intense. In the main street at the corner of the court, some labourers were repairing the gas pipes and had lighted a great fire in a brazier, round which a party of ragged men and boys were gathered, warming their hands and winking their eyes before the blaze in rapture. The water plug being left in solitude, its overflowing sullenly congealed and turned to misanthropic ice. The brightness of the shops, where holly sprigs and berries crackled in the lamp heat of the windows, made pale faces ruddy as they passed. Poulterers' and grocers' trades became the splendid joke, a glorious pageant, with which it was next to impossible to believe that such dull principles as bargain and sale had anything to do. The Lord Mayor, in the stronghold of the mighty mansion house, gave orders to his 50 cooks and butlers to keep Christmas as a Lord Mayor's household should, and even the little tailor, whom he had fined 5 shillings on the previous Monday for being drunk and bloodthirsty in the streets, stirred up tomorrow's pudding in his garret, while his lean wife and the baby sallied out to buy the beef. Dickens focuses on a very precise description of setting and landscape, which forms a significant part of the texture of the text. This encapsulates some of the key ideas in the novella, the motif of cold, the poor and the destitute, and the motif of abundance and commerce. We are presented with a tableau of Victorian life, the gas pipes for supply to rich households, the brazier to warm the employed and unemployed alike, and the lack of regard for safety also. The workers and the poor ragged men and boys who manage to find a source of warmth create a tableau of cold, Victorian street life. Throughout the story, Dickens gives the reader glimpses of life outside the main focus of the novella. These scenes would be familiar to Victorian Londoners, and Dickens is at pains to ensure that Victorian street life is present throughout. The motif of cold. There is a familiar motif combining cold and Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. Dickens describes extreme cold throughout the novella, potentially linked to the 7 severe winters in the period between 1813 to 1841. Dickens here focuses on one specific item of street furniture, the water plug being left in solitude, its overflowing sullenly congealed and turned to misanthropic ice. The intense cold freezes the public water supply, and the plug is presented through a personifying adverb and adjective. The solitude, sullenness, and misanthropy are deliberate, direct links to Scrooge and his presentation earlier in Stave 1. The freezing of the public water supply is indeed misanthropic, as the inhabitants here would be deprived of their water. The reality of the cold winters seen here in the congealed water plug, and the desire of the ragged men and boys to warm themselves, hints at the suffering of the houseless and those living in slum buildings, without disturbing the reader unnecessarily. However, Dickens' focus is on the redemption and salvation of Scrooge, not a direct and didactic description of the destitute. Yet, in the often overlooked sections of the novella, the poor and destitute make their presence felt as a constant undertone. The reader must then make the link from Scrooge's counting house to those who may become houseless when they cannot pay their debts, the fate which has terrified Caroline and her husband in Stave 4, when she asks, "We are quite ruined?" and her husband replies, "He is past relenting, he is dead." One of the issues some critics have with the novella is Dickens' sentimental approach to some aspects of poverty, in contrast to the scene with ignorance and want. Remember, in his preface to the story, Dickens states, "I have endeavoured in this ghostly little book to raise the ghost of an idea, which shall not put my readers out of humour with themselves, with each other, with the season, or with me. May it haunt their houses pleasantly, and no one wish to lay it." In not wanting to put his readers out of humour, the story does not delineate in detail the overwhelming presence of poverty and destitution at the time of writing. However, this poverty is present in the sections of the novel which may be passed over in exam preparation. In Dickens' non-fiction writing, for instance Night Walks, he comments on the number and presence of the houseless, of which these men and boys may be part. The intense cold is contrasted with warmth, which we know is a major motif of the novella. In this extract we see the ragged boys and men who are warming their hands and winking their eyes before the blaze in rapture. The intensity of the cold is linked with the intensity of the abstract noun, rapture, emphasising the joy of finding physical warmth in the severe cold of midwinter. Dickens continues this in the image of the brightness of the shops where holly sprigs and berries crackled in the lamp heat of the windows made pale faces ruddy as they passed. Remember that Fred arrives with ruddy cheeks in Stave 1 also. Again, intense warmth and colour are emphasised, here directing the reader's attention to the scenes of plenty. Several times Dickens conveys the splendour and abundance of the shops and their seasonal offerings, which contrast with his gruel and the Cratchit's undersized Christmas dinner. When the novel was written, England was experiencing a period retrospectively known as the Hungry Forties, yet Dickens shows us abundance for sale in the shops, the abundance represented by the Ghost of Christmas Present and his cornucopia, once again perhaps to keep his reader comforted and not out of humour. Perhaps there is a sly dig at the rich and those with power, as he tells us that the Lord Mayor gave orders to his 50 cooks and butlers to keep Christmas as a Lord Mayor's household should. The hyperbole of the 50 cooks is significant, as it emphasises extravagance and greed. Now you have got to grips with this material, it is important to make sure you know what to do with it in the exam, and we can certainly help you with that. The quotation bank is designed to make sure that every point you make in an essay clearly fulfills the assessment objectives an examiner will be using when marking your work. Every quotation comes with the following detailed material. Interpretation. The interpretation of each quotation allows you to fulfill assessment objective 1, responding to the text and giving an informed personal response. Techniques. Using subject-specific terminology correctly, in this case the literary devices used by Dickens, is a key part of assessment objective 2. Analysis. We have provided as much analysis, assessment objective 2, as possible. It is a great idea to analyse the quotation in detail. You need to do more than just say what it means, but also what effect the language form and structure has on the audience. Use in essays on. Your answer needs to be focused to fulfill assessment objective 1. This section helps you choose relevant quotations and link them together for a stronger essay. That brings us to the end of our analysis for today. I hope you found it useful, and if you have, do give a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos from the Quotation Bank. Don't forget to check out our study guides, where we provide analysis of 25 key quotations, as well as being full of essay plans, revision activities, and more. They're available from our website and other online stores. And follow us on social media. Send us a quotation and we'll try to help you out with your analysis. Thanks for listening, and good luck with the exams.